We'll go ahead and call this regular scheduled County Commissioners meeting to order, and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move next to public comment. Any public comment?
I have a public comment.
Go ahead, Bush.
Okay. The reason I don't get out for the Pledge of Allegiance is because I have an illness that affects my balance. And I don't want to stand up there and fall over. It's the same reason that I don't go down for pictures. Same thing. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Buzz. Move next to verification of the posting of the agenda. Pam?
Pam Moore, for the record, the agenda was posted on November 14th between the hours of 1 and 5 at all of the locations listed on the agenda in accordance with statutes.
Move next to number 5, consideration possible action, approval of the agenda as submitted.
I'll move to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll second.
Thank you, Miles. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Next, we'll move to consideration and possible action, approval of the minutes of the meeting held on October 16th, 2024. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion
I
to
move to-
approve the minutes of October 16th, 2024.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Move next to our first appointment, 7A, update of current activities, plans, or actions related to the Bureau of Land Management's Carson City District. Your turn.
Shedra, if you wait just a second, I'll give you the,
Oh, the clicker? Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, well, let's try it. Oh, it's charged. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me. I'm Shedra Rakestraw, and so before I go into the PowerPoint, this will be my last commission board meeting for right now. Catherine Dyer, she is stepping into an acting field manager for Stillwater Field Office. So she started on Monday, so we're just transitioning everything over. I may come back and provide updates if she's not available. So, but I'm still within the Carson City District as the assistant field manager for Lands and Realty for our district. So a lot of updates will probably come from me through Catherine. All right. All right, so some updates here about the National Defense Authorization Act, Bureau of Land Management. So Melanie Hornsby, she's been acting as the project manager. She was also our planning environmental coordinator. Now she's permanently in the project management role for the National Defense Authorization Act team. So she's leading a lot of those projects with our resource staff, making sure, of course, with some of these updates, she's been leading for securing the contractor for the Sand Canyon Road there to conduct the NEPA baselines. And we had our meeting with the BOR also on 11/18 for the base to discuss the results from the baseline meeting with the contractor. So that went over well. And then also with the BLM, Nevada Department of Agriculture and the Navy, they continue to meet regularly, just understanding the affected grazing permittees there within, of course, B16, but there are additional questions going on about the other B ranges as well to get those grazing permittees all accustomed with the next steps that's going to start happening there in the future. BLM, BOR, we continue to work with each other and understand like the first two priorities, which is on this map here. I don't know if I have a little thing, but in Winnemucca District, there's those parcels there on I-80 as your number 2, right? And then the number 1 is like coming down the green route there, is the focus. So we are working with BOR on a withdrawal revocation for Newlands that overlaps that. That way, that helps us on the NEPA side, where BOR already requested for those lands to be revocated a few years ago, and then that can help us cover like the NEPA costs as well. So that's going on now. I know there was a meeting that we had last week with the Navy, just giving updates on where we're at with this land exchange for 2907 and B20 expansion. And so they would like to have a timeline. And we have one right now drafted. And I think we sent that over to Churchill County as well to review like what that timeline looks like. So they're asking those questions. What I shared with them, like sometime in the beginning of the, like after the holidays, we probably should have a more secure timeline where we're at based on the withdrawal revocation process. So just look for that to come. And then also, we need to probably find a date that we can sit down, talk about what are these next steps now that the withdrawal revocation is going through its process and what happens next. And so it is about understanding, you know, the funding for the land exchange portion. And we will have to, BLM will have to go and brief our state director with an updated cost estimate. And that's something I've been tasked to do after talking to our district manager a couple of days ago. So I'll be working on fine tuning what is the cost for this land exchange. And so hopefully when we meet in the wintertime, get a date out, we can discuss that more with that timeline. And then also, I don't think it's on here, but Section 2908 is the SNPLMA, the Churchill County Checkerboard resolution area that we continue to develop. Based on special legislation from our Nevada State Office, we have to provide an implementation strategy plan on how we're going to conduct the land exchanges, and how we're going to use the funding. So we were awarded some funding for fiscal year 25 from the federal government calendar to continue developing this implementation strategy plan. So last week I was in Las Vegas and presented to the special legislation team throughout the National Operating Center, which is NOC, and some individuals from our headquarters, bringing them up to date about Section 2908 and what it will take there as well. And so how we're going to communicate to the public will be important, like to make sure we prepare a draft for Churchill County to review along with BOR and our state director. And so in that winter meeting, there will be probably two folds of a discussion, 2907 and then 2908, and then probably some other topics based on communication going back and forth and setting that agenda for a meeting. All right, so just continue to work with the grazing in all bombing ranges with the Navy, and then also BLM part of meetings and field trips for the Great Basin Pipeline realignment and State Route 361 road realignment has happened. And we have another meeting, like there's a meeting in Gabbs, December, don't quote me on the date, but I think it's in 2 weeks out there that we'll be traveling for a public meeting with like Federal Highways and NDOT and listening to what they're sharing with the Gabbs community. State Route 361? How long? I don't know the exact measures right now, like there's the exact miles for that road being rerouted right now. Yeah, it's a couple miles. There's many alternatives to it. So the proposed route has not been confirmed. From my understanding, is just looking at what are those alternative routes, because there is a huge there's been many comments on, of course, the tribes, how they use the current route to get back and forth, and other communities within the GABS community using that route too. So looking closely at that, we'll provide that as an update next month. Yeah. All right, so the Wild Horse and Burro census flights planned for fiscal year 25. Here listed, pilot table herd for Mineral County, Marietta herd, Pine Nut herd, that's Douglas, Carson City, and Lyon, Garfield Flat, Mineral County, Wazik, Lyon Mineral, and Montgomery Pass Mineral, and Lahontan, Lyon County. And then North Complex is Fort Sage, Dogskin, and Granite in Washoe County. Flanagan, Washoe County, and for Churchill, Desatoya, and Desatoya for Churchill and Lander County. And so the priorities here for our gathers is one, Lahontan herd management area within Churchill County, and it's at the planning stage now. So our range specialists who are within the Sierra Front field office is leading this effort here. And then the second priority is the North Complex Gather NEPA EA. All right, so some updates here with the Greater Sage Grouse Amendment update. So the Greater Sage Grouse Draft Resource Management Plan, so amendment, RMP, and the Environmental Impact Statement, EIS, and the feedback has been received in over like 38,000 public comments. BLM has prepared a proposed RMP amendment and final EIS. And with that saying, on Friday, November 8th, the proposed RMP amendment and final EIS will be available on BLM's National NEPA Register at the e-planning link here, ending 2016719/510, if you want to take a look at it as well. Friday, November 8th, will initiate a 60-day governor's consistency review that closes on Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. So once we get those comments back, then a decision can be addressed. The BLM will publish a notice of availability for a proposed RMP amendment and the final EIS in the Federal Register on Friday, November the 15th. So that was last Friday. The publication of the notice of availability in the Federal Register will initiate a 30-day protest period that would close on Monday, December 16th, 2024. All right, so continuing updates with geothermal projects, our Dixie Meadows coordinating with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, Navy, and ORMAT on additional data needs. So there was a meeting this past week with our specialists and Fish and Wildlife Service, just discussing more about those needs for the project. I don't have the details there from that meeting, but I know when Catherine comes, she'll provide more details since she attended the meeting. Diamond Flat, NEPA in progress and continuing to work with our timeline and the NEPA contractor in addressing the NEPA as we move forward with it. No updates for special recreation permits. What I was informed, the season has ended for right now, and so no updates. Okay. For lands and realty, as mentioned on the first slide, the State Route 361 is BLM part of our meetings and field trips for the Great Basin Pipeline realignment, and State Route 361 road realignment is ongoing. And then also Pilot Peak Road Reroute EA is finalized, and a FINZ and decision is expected this week. something with GreenLink updates here. So the draft EIS 90-day public comment and review period will end on December 11th, 2024, and there were public meetings throughout the months of October and November. The first one was a virtual meeting that happened on October 15th, 2024, and then Ely had one on October 29th. Eureka had one on October 30th, and then Sparks, that one was in person as well on November 13th. I don't know if anyone here was able to join those meetings, but I'm sure we have the recordings available from October 15th online. Any questions for me? No? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll move next to 7B, consideration of possible action, ratification of a grant agreement between the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and Churchill County Social Services in the amount of $79,986 for HUD-approved projects. Shan?
Good afternoon. For the record, Shannon Ernst, Churchill County Social Services. So annually, we participate in the Rural Nevada Continuum of Care process, which is really the goal to build strategies to reduce homelessness across rural Nevada. As part of this, then we're eligible to apply for direct HUD funds to support our transitional and rapid rehousing program. So last year, we participated, we applied, and we were awarded the same amount as the year prior. So today, I'm asking for the ratification for the $79,986. And this is a grant that goes from December through November, so it's a very bizarre date. Any questions?
Any questions from board or staff? Buzz?
No.
Any public comment? Could I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve ratification as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion approved. Thanks, Shan. You got another one.
I'll stay here.
Move next to 7C, ratification of agreement between the State of Nevada Department of Health and Human Services and Churchill County Social Services in the amount of $111,387 to deliver community services to individuals and families at risk, increase awareness of resources available for vulnerable populations, and provide homeless residents access to housing and daily necessary resources, and increase locations for service access. Shan.
For the record, Shannon Ernst again for the record. So we are federally designated as the community action agency for this area. And what that means is we don't submit a grant for our funding, we actually develop an action plan. And the action plan outlines what the priorities we are to engage the community to reduce poverty in the area. This helps support our community outreach programs, such as the Resource Liaison Program, our case management program. It provides our match over to the HUD grant that you just approved. This is an increase from the prior year. Last year we received 106, and this year it did go up to the 111,387. And this is determined on federal spending is how these amounts are set and our poverty levels. This grant is from October through September every year through the federal fiscal year. So I'm asking for this ratification today.
Any questions from board or staff? Any public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve and ratify the agreement as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Thank
Aye.
you.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shan. Move next to 7D, consideration of possible action, appointment of Joseph Frey to the Churchill County Planning Commission to fill an unexpired term from December 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2026. Jim?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Jim Barbie, County Manager for the record. So we interviewed a couple of candidates and had some previous candidates that had been interviewed. And in that selection, we bring forward Joe Frey as our recommended appointee to be a member of the Churchill County Planning Commission from December 1st, 2024 to December 31st of 2026.
Any questions from board or staff? Any public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Joseph Frey to the Churchill County Planning Commission to fulfill an expired term from December 1st to December 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Pam.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, that was long enough.
I know.
I was getting married all over again.
You should see people when they come in and get it, they're like, their eyes get big, they're looking at me. That's it, thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Joe. Okay. Any letters you want to pull out, Buzz, Miles? Okay. We'll move next to number 9, new business. Consideration of possible action, Nevada Division of Water Resources provides notification that the city of Fernley filed applications that propose to change the point of diversion, place of use, and manner of use of a portion of existing permit 80184 from an underground source located in Lyon County, Nevada, to a new point of diversion and place of use in Churchill County, Nevada.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is Joe Sanford for the record. I'll take this one. We're required pursuant to statute to hold a hearing on this change in use and point of diversion to move water from Lyon County to Churchill County's place of use. These are temporary applications. We've run it past our water consultant, and we have no concerns at this time. So we do not need to take any action.
Any questions from board or staff? Any public comment? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to support the application.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Could I get a motion to approve the consent items?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
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 Motion approved. Move next to 11, consider future agenda items. I would like to add to the January 15th meeting, Dr. McDonald, the medical director for Churchill County or Central Nevada Health District, would like to give a presentation to the new board on what he's working with UNR and Banner for a residency program. You have anything to add, Miles?
No, I do not.
Mr. Chair, just for your information, we are going to be needing to request the schedule a special meeting to consider awarding contracts for the water treatment plant sometime between December 11th and December 13th of this next month. So whichever day is the pleasure of the board, we'd like to get that scheduled.
Any of those dates work for me.
Let me take a look. I'm okay with any of those dates, Pam. Are you okay with any day between the 11th and the 13th, Buzz? Okay. All right. So we'll get that set up. Move next to Commissioner and Management staff reports. Buzz, you have anything? Miles?
Nothing at this time.
And I had a meeting with the Stillwater Conservation District and the Lahontan Conservation District, and the new members, or the new board was selected. And that's all I have. Jim? No, sir. Pam?
Nothing for me.
Crystal? Sherry? Joe?
Nothing, thank you.
No sheriff today. Randy? Okay. So, move next to claims and payroll and transmittals. Our last public comment. Meeting's adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.